All right. Hear, O Yashar'Al, the great I am, the great spirit is the only power for you. The great I am, the great spirit is one. Speak peace into the ears of the people so they could see on this day of rest. Rise, O Yashar'Al. Welcome to World War III. Our reference today will be Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16. And this message is entitled Prophecy and Perception. Also, come out of her, my peoples. I cannot apologize. Again, let's get started with I cannot apologize to those of you who have learned history, science, religion, archaeology, and all other perceptions from the tutelage of human trafficking murderers who have either forgotten or have forgiven themselves of the crimes of their forefathers. And this is not racially motivated. This is perception. It's in the title. And to those of you who are racially motivated, you can peacefully remove yourselves to another social media, such as the professionals of social media called Fox News and NBC, National Broadcasting Company. We now gather to hear of our own ancestors teach us knowledge, which is life sciences or natural sciences, meaning teach us our own experiences. As always, Indigenous Hebrew Israelite Awakening is not a racist religious group. We simply live here. Now let me reintroduce or introduce to you Phillis Wheatley, a non-United States enslaved published poet. They will call her an African American, which is a term that was created in 1982 sometime. But she was a non-United States enslaved poet. That's the truth about her. She shows us how its first General Chief Executive Officer, as president, and he was over civil affairs. He was a general over civil affairs. Big Sister Phillis let us know that the first United States civilized people worshipped Columbia, their goddess, as God. And need I remind you, we have done a video already on Columbia being the God of the United States. So look through that. Look through our videos for that. You see, your civility comes from your own fallen liberty tree, also known as a combat zone. Look that up as well. Big Sister Phillis gives us all the perceptions of her romanish captors from an originally indigenous standpoint. She's letting us know what she is seeing. Just like our Kinsman Redeemer, as Jesus Christ, Big Sister Phillis Wheatley made a prophecy in her poem to President Washington, George Washington. Y'all let me know if y'all can see it. Put that down in the comment sections. Quote, celestial choir, enthroned in rims of light, Columbia's scene of glorious toils I write, her subject. While freedom's cause her anxious breast alarm, she flashes dreadful and refulgent arms. Her mother, see Mother Earth, her offspring's faith bemoan. And nations gaze at scenes before unknown. See the bright beams of heaven's revolving light, involved in sorrows and the veil of night. The goddess come, she moves divinely fair. Olive and laurel binds her golden hair. Wherever shines this native of the skies, unnumbered charms and recent graces rise. Muse, bow, propitious, while my pen relates how pour her armies through 1,000 gates, as when Eulus, remember that, Eulus heaven's fair face deforms, enwrapped in tempest and a night of storms. Astonished ocean feels the wild uproar. The refluent surges beat the sounding shore. Or think as leaves in autumn's golden rain, such and so many moves the warriors train. In bright array they seek the work of war, where high unfurl the ensign waves in air. Shall I to Washington their praise recite? Enough, thou knowest them in the field of fight. Thee, first in peace and honors, we demand the grace and the glory of thy martial band, fame for thy valor, for thy virtues more. Hear every tongue thy guardian aid implore. 1 century scarce performed its destined round, when Gallic powers Columbia's fury found. And so may you, whoever dare disgrace the land of freedom's heaven defended race. Fixed are the eyes of the nations on the scales, for in their hope Columbia's arms prevails, and on Britannia droops the pensive head, while round increase the rising hills of dead. Ah, cruel blindness to Columbia's state, lament thy thirst of boundless power too late. Proceed, great chief, with virtue on thy side. Thy every action let the goddess guide. A crown, a mansion, and a throne that shine with gold unfading, Washington be thine. Unquote. Now, this is Phillis Wheatley talking about the God of the first president, the God of the United States. This is her telling us and prophesizing. So y'all let me know what y'all think about Phillis Wheatley speaking to us. And other examples of the perception school, which we call witchcraft here. And that's like telling somebody one thing and actively working on another thing to hurt, or talking about peace and offering war. You know, this is witchcraft. Or to bewitch a person's mind. Here's some examples. In 1619 through 1776, the Virginia House of Burgesses was a ethno religion. I want to say ethno religion, but it was an ethno society that started their, legislation. And they came from England to here. The General Assembly, which is a civil militia, ended the House of Burgesses at that time. And they began legislation in 1776. In 1789, the Department of War was started, and you have all the military functions, and the Army, Navy, Air Force, all that fall under that. Also, the Judiciary Act in 1789 was founded. So you have all the government functions formed at this time. In 1862, the Internal Revenue Service, which is the IRS, they are formed during slavery. In 1867, the Department of Education was formed. In 1876, the United States Immigration was formed. In 1876, the United States Immigration. Now, folks, all of these are have a foundation of human trafficking, slavery. And it's marriage counselor called racism. These things were formed under these departments. And again, this is the bewitchment of a people who were originally found as indigenous to place these things on them. It's a tragedy that we must overcome. Our God, as Hebrew Israelites, our God defends his actions using the earth he created. He doesn't have to use militias or militaries or a civil assembly, a general assembly. He doesn't have to use that. He uses the earth. For example, from flooding all evil out of the existence during a worldwide deluge. Like all the indigenous people know about this flood. Stopping the celestial sky, the sun, to allow his chosen people to win, to become victorious. Testing all the Egyptian gods with nature. Oh, you're the god of the river, then we'll, destroy your river. This is what our Most High does. Even drowning them at sea. They thought that they were conquerors of the sea, so he drowned them. He drowned their leaders. Isaiah chapter 62 marks the division of the Gentiles and the holy people who are to be redeemed. The angels are telling me to put that in there. The same prophet cries out to the people found beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. And again, that's in Isaiah chapter 18. So the angels are telling me to put that out right now in this discussion. Now, folks, I prophesied in April of 2015. I'll let you guys know that, California was suffering from, I think it was 7 years of drought. They were suffering 7 years of drought. And within those 7 years, in April of 2015, I prophesied that it was going to get worse. It was going to get worse. And it did. Actually, in 2018, California was found on fire, like one of the worst fires recorded. It suffered one of the worst droughts recorded. And then when the drought ended, it suffered one of the worst fires recorded in its own history. I prophesied that these things would happen to them. Just like not too long ago, I prophesied in 2019 on a Saturday, again, to come out of her. And on that Monday, the very next Monday that came up, not only was the Notre Dame, which means Our Lady or our Dame, not only was the Notre Dame on fire, but a sanctuary in Israel, or the land called Israel, was on fire the same day. So I'm doing exactly what Big Sister Phillis Wheatley has done. I'm also doing exactly what our Kinsman Redeemer has done. And he gave us promises. The Most High gave us promises. In fact, we are supposed to be dreaming, and those dreams are used to tell us these stories. All I can say now to those eagle eyes out there, and I know you guys are watching, that's fine, that I'm only getting stronger. And all the Hebrew Israelites who are awakening from the perception of witchcraft that has been placed upon us, we're getting stronger. And many of you probably see that the world is in an uproar right now. And like with the weather and all kinds of things that are going on, it's crazy. The chosen people are awakening. And if you don't stop recognizing us as that unmentionable word that rhymes with trigger, if you keep us bound by these perceptions while we're waking up, it's going to be very rough. It's going to be very rough for the rest of you. This is just a warning right now. And we're talking about dreams that can actually become reality from a people who are chosen. Let me end this by saying that I am a conscientious objector, a minister of peace, and I'm also a Hebrew Israelite.